Pete Hegseth yesterday was grilled. Today they got more Senate hearings, but yesterday he was grilled by the Senate. And here are some of the highlights that came along with it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get it.
Mr. Hegseth, I do not believe that you are qualified to meet the overwhelming demands of this job.
The Department of Defense under Donald Trump will achieve peace through strength. And in pursuing these America First national security goals will remain patriotically apolitical and stridently constitutional.
You said in your statement, you don't want politics in the DOD. Everything you've said in these public statements is politics. I don't want women. I don't want moms. What's wrong with a mom, by the way? Once you have babies, you therefore are no longer able to be lethal.
I've never.
Are y'all listening to our senators? Are y'all listening to the people that was in this Senate hearing? It was so crazy. I've never seen a bunch of children before in my entire. Listen to what she just said. Listen to Kirsten Gillibrand, a Democrat for New York. Listen to what they said.
You've said in these public statements is politics. I don't want women. I don't want moms. What's wrong with a mom, by the way? Once you have babies, you therefore are no longer able to be lethal.
Once you have babies, does that mean that you're no longer able to be lethal? Oh, Jesus, Lord, how far have this country fallen? And can we hurry up and get Trump in the office? Can we expedite the process? Can we speed it up by like 5 days so we can go ahead and get Trump in office and then we could just go through the official inauguration in like 5 days? I just couldn't imagine sitting through that and listening to these people and thinking that these are the ones that actually are the legislators and the ones that's determining our laws. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane.
What's wrong with a mom, by the way? Once you have babies, you therefore are no longer able to be lethal.
I've never disparaged women serving in the military. I respect every single female service member that has put on the uniform, past and present. My critiques, Senator, recently and in the past, and from personal experience, have been instances where I've seen standards lowered.
Would you use our military to take over Greenland or an ally of Denmark?
Senator, one of the things that President Trump is so good at is never strategically tipping his hand. And
why would we telegraph a strategic move, even if we're saying it just to start certain conversations so that we can ultimately come to a better decision, or whatever the strategy is that Trump would deploy? Why would the incoming Secretary of Defense then tell a senator at a public hearing for the whole world to see, because the whole world watches American politics just as much, if not more, than the people that's actually in America? Why would he say that in a public hearing?
And so I would never in this public forum give one way or another direct what orders the president would give me in any context.
That sounds to me that you would contemplate carrying out such an order to basically invade Greenland.
Many of your work colleagues have said that you show up for work under the influence of alcohol or drunk. I know you've denied that, but you would agree with me, right, that if that was the case, that would be disqualifying for somebody to be Secretary of Defense.
Senator, those are all anonymous false claims, and the totality
they're not anonymous.
The letters on the record here.
They're not anonymous.
On the record,
we've seen records with names attached to them.
Senator Kaine, or I guess I better use the senator from Virginia, starts bringing up the fact that what if you showed up drunk to your job? How many senators have showed up drunk to vote at night? Have any of you guys asked them to step down and resign from their job? And don't tell me you haven't seen it, because I know you have.
I don't want a long answer. Yes or no. Have you led an audit of any organization of which you were in charge?
Senator, in both of the organizations I ran, we were always completely fiscally responsible.
Yes or no, did you lead an audit?
And the way my leadership has been stated.
Could you imagine going home to some of these women? Could you imagine negotiating with some of these women? Could you imagine the agenda that's behind some of these people that are in office trying to grill Pete? But none was more entertaining, in my personal opinion, than Elizabeth Warren. This was the exchange between Pete Hegseth and Elizabeth Warren, as far as Elizabeth trying to grill him about women being in the military and being in combat. Check it out.
Thank you, Mr. Hegseth. Senator Warren. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Mr. Hegseth, thank you. Thank you for your
Ron is
service.
back. Where?
So if you're confirmed as Secretary of Defense, you will oversee our military, including about 250,000 women.
Oh, oh, oh. Hey guys, Ron is back, and Ron doesn't like cyberbullying. Ron says, "You're trying to cyberbully me, bro. Get alive." Now, think about this, ladies. Just based off of the interaction between me and Ron, do you think that Ron has a masculine bone in his body? Or do you think that Ron is probably biologically a woman that is trying to go through the transition of becoming a man? I'd be willing to bet that Ron does not have a strong father in his life. I'd be willing to bet that Ron, who subscribed he left and then he came back and he was mad. Ron is probably in between sessions, probably lost, Call of Duty, he's in the lobby. Ladies, I'm just trying to understand, do you think that Ron represents masculinity? And would you pick Ron to be the father of your children? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Ron, zip it. Zip it, Ron. We doing a show. Zip it. You know what, Ron? You're not listening. You're not listening. You're not listening, Ron. You think you ever seen one of these, Ron? You know what this is? You know what this is, Ron? I like to call this the rod of correction. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep on doing it and see how this is gonna go out for you. Keep doing it. No, you tough. You tough. You tough, Ron. Let me say something. Say it again. Go ahead. I'm listening. No, you got a lot to say. The floor is yours, Ron. Ain't been enough of this. Ain't been enough of this. See, this is what happens when y'all keep gentle parenting. All that negotiating, he keep on grabbing on your leg while you trying to shop for him at Walmart, keep on stealing all of the fruit snacks. He allowed to just play his video games all day. This is what happened. I'm going to keep this right here on this desk to remind you of why you need strong fathers inside of your life. Now we trying to listen to Pete. Pete, continue.
Who currently serve on active duty in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Space Forces, and the Marines. And I have serious concerns that your behavior toward women disqualifies you from serving in this role. Now, I've been trying to get answers from you for quite some time on this. You haven't wanted to meet or to answer any of my questions. So we'll just have to do it here and dive in.
Make me take my suit jacket
I want
off.
to
It's
pick up
gonna
on
get
some of
ugly.
the questions asked by Senators Shaheen and Gillibrand and Hirono.
I'm gonna give you something
and
to
I just
cry
want to make
about.
sure we have a list of some of the facts that I think are undisputed. I'm not going to talk about anonymous sources. I'm just going to quote you directly. We've got the video. We've got it in print. So going back to January 2013, you told a Fox News interviewer that women in the military simply couldn't measure up to men in the military, saying that allowing women to serve.
Hold on, y'all hit a like for the algorithm if you think that Ron got something else to say and that I need to address this and take my suit coat off. Y'all hit a like for the algorithm if you think I need to make sure that we address Ron accordingly. Because I got my belt right here. It's right here. It's right here. We're gonna leave it right here for Ron. All right, let's continue.
roles would force the military to lower the bar. You picked up on that same theme in 2015, making remarks on Fox News, referring to women in combat as, quote, it would erode standards. June 2024, you said on Ben Shapiro's podcast, quote, women shouldn't be in combat at all. And then, of course, we've talked about it in 2024. You published a book, and you say on page 26 of your book, we need moms, but not in the military, especially in combat units. Page 48 of your book, you claim that women should not be in combat roles because men are distracted by women. And then 10 weeks ago, you appeared on the Sean Ryan show and said, I'm straight up just saying we should not have women.
Make sure that y'all not timing people out either, right? Because as long as people not saying anything crazy, disrespectful about somebody's kids or something, we don't care if somebody got a difference of opinion. We actually like the chat. Chat Lives Matters. Chat Lives is our co-host for the show over here on the Millionaire Morning Show, all right? We don't do censorship, even if you have a difference of opinion.
Women in combat roles. Now, I presume you recall making all these statements?
Senator, I'm not familiar with the article you're pointing to in 2013, but it underscores my argument
I've got the
completely because
video.
in that 2013 argument, I was talking about standards. Standards are what it's always been about,
Let's not
Senator.
have this same fight again.
Always been about Senate
I've quoted
standards.
you directly. We've got the video. We're happy to show it. But I want to be clear here. For 12 years, you were quite open about your views, and your views were consistently the same. Women are inferior soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, and guardians.
How many people actually disagree with that? I actually agree. I believe that women are inferior soldiers, sailors, whatever else that they want to say. Is there the anomaly here or there that actually will be able to meet the standards? 100%. But we've had to lower the standards for women in order for them to be accepted into combat roles in the military. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to see our women on the field. Can they be in the military? Absolutely. Should they fill other roles, including administrative roles? 100%. But if you're asking me if a woman should be drafted, have y'all seen, let me take a minute and just explain this. Have y'all seen, this is for Ron right here. Have y'all seen, there's a viral clip. I don't know if y'all on X or if y'all seen the news, but there's this super, super duper viral clip that's all over the world right now. And it was it was footage from a soldier that a Russian soldier and a Ukrainian soldier got into combat. They got into a knife fight. They had guns and stuff, but then it had to turn into a face-to-face combat. And it was an 8-minute grueling battle. I seen the unedited footage. It looked something like it was out of Saving Private Ryan. I don't know if y'all ever seen Saving Private Ryan. Sit down with your family over the weekend and watch Saving Private Ryan. It was one of the most gruesome movies that I've ever seen, but it was a realistic depiction of what was happening in the war, right? And it's a video of a Russian soldier and a Ukrainian soldier. And I can't play it here because it has to be heavily corrected. But they were in a, face-to-face hand combat, fighting with a knife. And it was a reality of what war is. It was a reality of what war is. Could a woman be a drone pilot or something? Absolutely, they could be a drone pilot. But to be in face-to-face combat in real life, I've never seen something like that in my entire life. Has anybody actually seen that viral video of the Ukrainian soldier? I think you could probably find it on X. The Ukrainian soldier and the Russian soldier that was in a hand-to-hand combat, and they was fighting each other, and they fought to the death, and they were screaming and yelling and trying to get the other one off of them, and they was getting stabbed each other and all of this stuff. It was crazy. Can you imagine a woman? Better yet, can you imagine your daughter growing up and being in that type of situation? Look it up on X. It's crazy. It is absolutely insane. A Russian soldier wind up out, outlasting the Ukrainian soldier, and it was blood everywhere and all of that. Could you imagine your daughter, while this senator is sitting up here talking about, I can't believe DEI, are you saying that women are inferior to men when it comes to physical capabilities? That's exactly what we're saying. And we're also saying that we would not want our daughters and our wives and our granddaughters, we wouldn't want that to be their fate, to be on a battlefield in hand-to-hand combat with another soldier getting stabbed in her eyeballs. I don't know why this is so hard for us to figure out. She's trying to hold him accountable for comments in which he's saying that women should not be in combat inside of the military. Is that offensive to y'all? Ladies in the chat, is that offensive to y'all?
And in case anyone missed the point, and these are your words from 10 weeks ago, women absolutely straight up should not be permitted to serve in combat. And I notice on each of these.
I agree. Women straight up should not be permitted to serve in combat. Let me say it again so you guys can know what my position is, because I'm misogynistic in that way. Women straight up should not be in combat, should not be permitted to serve in combat. I don't care what you think. I don't care what other cultures do it. I don't agree with it whatsoever. Unless y'all just want to continue to advocate for equal, then get your big head butt out there and serve then.
Quotes, those are said without qualification. It's not by how much you can lift or how fast you can run. They don't belong in combat, period, or your words, straight up. And then on November 9th, 2024, just 32 days after your last public comment saying that women absolutely should not be in combat, you declared that, quote, some of our greatest warriors are women, and you support having them serve in combat. Now, that is a very, very big about face in a very, very short period of time. So help me understand, Mr. Hegseth, what extraordinary event happened in that 32-day period that made you change the core values you had expressed for the preceding 12 years?
Senator, again, I very much appreciate you bringing up my comments from 2013, because for me, this issue has always been about standards. And unfortunately, because of some of the people that have been in political power for the last 4 years, priorities other than standards, lethality, and meritocracy have driven decision-making.
I'm quoting you from the podcast. Women shouldn't be in combat at all. Where is the reference to standards? That they should be there if they can carry, if they can run? I don't see that at all, Mr. Hegseth. What I see is that there's a 32-day period in which you suddenly have another description about your views of women in the military. And I just want to know, what changed in the 32 days that the song you sang is not the song you come in here today to sing?
Senator, the concerns I have and the concerns that many have had, especially in ground combat units, is that in pursuit of certain percentages or quotas, standards have been changed. And that makes the combat more difficult
let me make a
for everybody
suggestion
involved.
about what
She has never let this guy finish a sentence to save her life.
happened in that 32 days. You got a nomination from President Trump. Now, I've heard of deathbed conversions, but this is the first time I've heard of a nomination conversion.
I'm going to read Cash
And I
Apps and Super
hope
Chat
you
shortly, y'all.
understand that many women serving in the military right now might think that if you can convert so rapidly your long-held and aggressively pursued views in just 32 days, that 32 days after you get confirmed, maybe you'll just reverse those views and go back to the old guy who said straight up, women do not belong in combat. Now, Mr. Hegseth, you have written that after they retire, generals should be banned from working for the defense industry for 10 years. You and I agree on the corrosive effects of the revolving door between the Pentagon and defense contractors. It's something I would have liked to talk with you about if you'd come and been willing to visit with me. But the question I have for you on this is, will you put your money where your mouth is and agree that when you leave this job, you will not work for the defense industry for 10 years?
Senator, it's not even a question I've thought about because
You can
it's
think
not
about it
one
right
that-
now.
It's not one, my motivation for this job
I understand
has never
that. I
been
just
about
need a
what could
yes or no
conceivably
here.
come next.
Time is short. I just need a yes or no.
I would consult with the president about what the policy should be
In
at the Defense
other
Department.
words, you're quite sure that every
When people ask you a question, sometimes they already know what they want you to say and they already have a response in anticipation of what your answer is going to be because they already have labeled you. This isn't a conversation. This is a debate. This isn't a conversation. This is rhetorical. She's not actually asking him questions to get an answer. She's asking a question in anticipation of trying to make him look bad and be combative. Listen to what she says.
Every general who serves should not go directly into the defense industry for 10 years. But you're not willing to make that same pledge?
I'm not a general, Senator.
Look at her face. Look at her face. Look how stupid they are. These are our senators. This is a part of the Senate hearing. You have a woman who has never served anybody in her entire life, including her constituents, grilling on a premise that she has no clue about. And now they're laughing at her. They're laughing at her in a Senate hearing for the defense secretary. Listen again.
Yes or no?
I would consult with the president about what the policy should be
In
at the Defense
other
Department.
words, you're quite sure that every general who serves should not go directly into the defense industry for 10 years. But you're not willing to make that same pledge?
I'm not a general, Senator.
You'll
Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.